The spring sports season is flying by here at the A-Game, and this past week was no different.
The softball team had a chance to meet some of the best players in program history, and baseball was home, and a football player competed in a track meet, and so much more.
It's going to be a fun show today. Stick around on App TV because it's time for the A-Game. Hello again, App State fans. I'm Ashley Smith with Braxton Critcher, and we appreciate you joining us on the A-Game.
We have talked all season long about the growth and the development of the black and gold softball team. They played Georgia State over the weekend, but they also got a chance to reflect on their rich program history. Before the first game of a doubleheader on Saturday, 27 former softball players were on hand for Alumni Day at Swasink Lloyd Family Stadium. Spanning from 2003 to 2017, each one of the returning Mountaineers stood on the field in recognition of their accomplishments. Among the star athletes was third baseman Katie Boyd, who graduated in 2011. While at App State, Boyd was selected to either the first or the second team All-SoCon for all 4 years, and she threw out the ceremonial first pitch. Boyd is the all-time leader in batting average, runs scored, and homers at App State. The alumni got a chance to meet with current softball players and Coach Horner after the games with a cookout behind the left field fence. Here's what head coach Shelly Horner had to say about that and more after the game.
You know, they were great support. I mean, they're still here, and just, you know, it's been a great day. And, you know, they've paved the way for this program, and, you know, it's pretty neat to be able to interact with so many and from so many different classes, from the classes of 2003 all the way to 2017. So I think that's a great, it's a great event for our program.
Before the team had a chance to meet with the alumni, they also played a 3-game home series against the Panthers.
A-Game reporter Sam Foltz was at Swasink Lloyd Family Stadium and has a breakdown of the games.
The Mountaineer softball team played against Georgia State this weekend in a 3-game series. Unfortunately, the Mountaineers lost 3-0, however there were valiant efforts made across the field. Player Kenzie Longenecker scored a season high of 10 strikeouts against Georgia State, though the Panthers responded with 2 home runs, causing the App State to lose 4-0. In Game 2, App State continued to struggle offensively, leading to a final score of 17-5. But in Game 3, App State came out with a new attitude and scored 2 runs in the first inning. The Mountaineers continued to battle the Panthers, but ended with a 9-2 score. After the game, we spoke with Coach Shelly Horner about the improvements the team can make for the next game.
We've got to bring our A game to every single game we play, and, you know, we didn't bring it all the way around today. We've got to put our pitching with our hitting together. We're either pitching well or we're hitting well. We've got to pitch and hit well, or pitch and play defense well, or hit and play defense well. We've got to do 2 out of the 3, and unfortunately we just have not been doing that.
The Mountaineers will play UNCG next week on Wednesday the 18th. For App TV and the A-Game, I'm Sam Foltz.
So as Coach Horner commented, we'll see if that pitching staff can get back on track this week. Ashley?
And Coach Smith also commented how his bullpen performed this weekend. And it was a tough 3-game series for the baseball team who faced Louisiana. The Mountaineers dropped all 3 games but had strong pitching and key hits when needed. The bullpen only gave up 7 hits and 1 run through 10 2/3 innings during the doubleheader on Saturday. Key pitchers were Will Sprinkle, Andrew Papp, Cameron Kepley, and Jason Kornatzer. Connor Leonard had a good game from the plate, where he helped cut the deficit during games 1 and 2, where the Mountaineers only lost by 1 run both games. Leonard tallied 4 RBIs and 3 hits for the series. Other Mountaineers who had strong offensive games were Bo Myers, Jason Avers, Joel McDaniel, Drew Beck, and Bradley Davis. A-Game reporter Brett Wiseman was at Beaver Field for the doubleheader on Saturday and has more.
The Mountaineer baseball team dropped a home series to Louisiana this weekend, dropping Friday night's game 4-3 and the first game of Saturday's doubleheader 5-4. The second game of Saturday's doubleheader did not go as planned either, as the team lost 6-2. Head coach Kermit Smith commented on Will Sprinkle's scoreless pitching of late and said the team needs to hit the weight room to prepare for this week's 2 home game matchups.
I think just a lot of things. I think he's throwing believable pitches. I think his mix has been really good. He's working at the bottom half of the zone, and he's throwing strikes and getting some swings on some borderline pitches, which usually creates good success.
The Mountaineers will be back at home this week, Tuesday against NC Central and Wednesday against Western Carolina. Reporting for the A Game, I'm Brett Wiseman.
As always, A-Game baseball analyst and sports editor at the Appalachian, Brooks Maynard, is here to chat with us after the break.
We'll have a Mountaineer spotlight as well, and our A-Game player of the week is coming up. All that next. It's the A-Game.
How to know if you should reach out to a friend. Your friend might be
worried, sad,
grumpy, angry,
stressed, weird, rebellious,
anxious,
antisocial, lonely,
sleeping less,
sleeping more,
eating less,
eating more.
Look, there are a lot of things to watch out for, but you know your friend best. So if they're not acting themselves, why not say something? Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
All right, welcome back to the A-Game, where we've got Brooks Maynard with us once again for the Appalachian sports editor to break down some App State baseball over the weekend. So one thing that I've noticed is that they had 3 losses. They got swept again, but they did have close losses. So it seems like they're getting there. Frustrating as it is, they're close. What is the next step that they can take that puts them over the hump?
Yeah, they're making strides. They had less errors this week, but they did still have errors. I think they had 3 total over the weekend. And the one game that they were out of it the most, their second game of the doubleheader on Saturday, they lost 6-2, was when they had the 2-error game. Multiple errors equal multiple run losses. But they did have an improving in pitching overall. They did have the one. Reed Howell had the tough outing. Other than that, pitching was real strong. Will Sprinkle came out and had another strong outing.
He's good.
That's really been the differential. I don't know where it's coming from, freshman kid, but that's that ERA. It's a .89 right now, I believe. Yeah. 20.1 innings pitched. He is just rolling right now. I think building off his success is where they need to go. They need to whatever he's eating, drinking, doing, rubbing before the game. I don't know what the lucky socks, whatever it is, they need to get on that train.
And you mentioned Will Sprinkle and how well he pitched over the weekend. Do you think that Coach Smith should maybe make a move from moving him out of the bullpen into the starting rotation for the weekend, or maybe even a midweek starter?
That's a tough question to answer because sometimes people thrive in the bullpen because they're not suited to be starters. Sometimes you don't have the stamina to be able to take complete games. It's why we've had pitchers in the past move into the bullpen from those starting roles. And it's hard to tell right now from his appearances whether he'd really be able to be successful as a starter. Sometimes that's not always a good indicator, but who knows? He really, other than, Colin Schmidt had another good outing this week, but, other than him, no one's really been consistent other than those 2. So, maybe it is time to give him a shot. I don't know what his, his story is, but, maybe it's his time.
I always say this about teams that are struggling, that you need to focus on the feelings and emotions you're going through now. That way you can build on that and get better in the future. But at the same time, for this team who's only got 1 win in Sun Belt Conference so far, how do they learn for the future but also focus on trying to win games now?
I think learning for the future is what, when you're 1-11 in Sun Belt, I think learning for the future is going to help them win games now, really, because they're performing so low in almost every category that, really getting back to the fundamentals and just, getting a hitter that's hitting above 250, playing a game without getting an error. These little things are going to help them win games.
And do you think that with Monday, Coach Smith had spoke after the game saying that Monday would be a good practice for them. Do you think that this would be an opportunity for them to get healthy, to work on those basic mechanical things? Do you see that as what could help them in their 2 non-conference games this weekend, which they won it previously in the season?
Yeah, like I said, it's a day to have off. They played a doubleheader. Those are tough sometimes. Recuperate your energy just a little bit. I said, they need to work on the fundamentals, working on getting the bat on the baseball, getting, the baseball cleanly in the glove and transitioning it to the throw, working on these little things that are going to help them. And then, as far as the non-conference games go, not having to worry about that Sun Belt record for a day or 2, I think will help them a little bit. And they also have that, that little rivalry going on, the historic rivalry with Western Carolina.
That's true.
Those little, in some sports, it might be dead to a point, but in baseball, they've still been playing every year, and those emotions are going to come out maybe a little bit on Wednesday.
So you talked that they've got some things that are looking good for the team. Maybe they just have a little list and they check these off the boxes as they go throughout the year, and then they can build off of those. I've also noticed that even though they only have that one win, they do seem to have a good mentality, a good camaraderie about this team. Where does that come from in this kind of valley that they're in, and can they also build on that?
Sometimes when you're struggling, it can really, when you struggle together, it can breed a bond. This team is also young. A lot of them are freshmen and sophomores, or they're transfers, and they're coming into all this at the same time. They haven't maybe been in the uniform for longer than a season. Maybe this is even their first year on campus. So when you bond in that way too, when you don't have some of that senior leadership, or you don't have too much of it, that's something where you can, we're another aspect of struggling together, really.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, Brooks, and we will look forward to having you back on the show next week.
As always.
Thank you.
Coming up after the break, we have coverage of the track teams who competed at the Charlotte Invitational.
We've also got tennis teams who were away over the weekend. Stay with us on the A Game. That's next.
I try to keep up with what these young people is doing and knowing.
I was at work and I just got a text from a number that I didn't know.
I sent him a text. He texts me back and say, "Who dis?" And I just thought that was the funniest thing.
The next few weeks, you just made fun of me, like would answer the door and say, "Who dis?"
Who dis?
Drop off a warm meal and get more than you expect. Volunteer at americaletsdolunch.org.
America, let's do lunch.
All right, Ashley and Braxton back with you on the A Game, and this week we got a chance to sit down with men's tennis player Scott Webster for our Episode 9 Mountaineer Spotlight.
Our host, Candace Cooper, has more from Kidbrew Stadium. Check it out.
Welcome back to another edition of Mountaineer Spotlight. I'm here with Scott Webster, who is a senior on the App State men's tennis team. Thank you for sitting down with us.
Of course, no worries.
So first off, you chose App State and you're from Australia. Can you tell me why you chose it?
So there was a guy called Trent Constance who graduated here in like 2010, I believe, and he was a coach on the other side of Australia. And I met him at a couple tournaments, played against his team for my team, and yeah, he got me in touch with Bob Lake, the coach here, and ever since then it's been a great time.
And your brother is on the team with you. What's it like having him on the team and also being on a college team together?
Well, it's the same as having a brother with anything, but it's really special. I mean, it's been a pretty cool year. We played our first tournament together last semester and we won it, so that was pretty awesome. That's probably one of my top couple 3 memories, and yeah, it's fun. I mean, you can look across and he'll be honest with me, I'll be honest with him, so it's always good to have someone on the team like that.
And you were selected as the SAAC president for this year. Can you tell me what that's been like for you as an athlete and also a person?
It's great. I mean, I like to be able to give back to the community. It's given me a lot, so being able to get out, community service, help people not in just the only Boone community but across the world has been pretty cool. And just kind of be that figure for the student athletes is kind of cool. I know a lot of people now, so yeah, I've really enjoyed it.
And did the previous president give you any advice going into this year?
Not really. He just said, just kind of do your thing, just make sure you are organised and make it fun and light, and just keep trying to build on the community service. Is something we've really tried to be doing around here. It's much better this year, so yeah, that's just the main thing, just keep it rolling.
And can you talk a little bit about how your senior year's been and what you're planning to do after you graduate?
Oh, my senior year has been an absolute roller coaster ride, but I mean, it was awesome. I got to go to California last semester and compete against 32 of the best guys in the country and did pretty well, so that was pretty cool. And then I've been winning more than I've been losing, so that's been good. But we went through a bumpy ride this semester, but the guys stuck together and we came out with a winning season, so that's been pretty cool. So yeah.
And what are you majoring in?
I'm doing pre-professional exercise science.
Okay, and what do you want to do with that?
So I accepted the grad assistant job at University of North Florida. So a former App State player is the head coach there, so my plan is to go there.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what's the number one thing you've learned from being a part of the tennis team, not only this year, but just your whole 4 years?
I mean, I think the biggest thing I've learned is it's not just about yourself. There's a lot more people out there, and there's a lot more people that you influence by your actions. That's something Bob would always preached to me like your actions are important to yourself, but also the people around you. The way you behave will impact the people around you. So it's something I've definitely taken away. Because my freshman year was, it was a bit more me, and this year it's more, okay, I got to practice hard because the younger guys will look up to me and really follow along.
And you were recently named the 4th best Australian in college teams. After all the hard work I'm sure you've put in, can you talk a little bit about what that's been like?
It was good to be 4, but my best mate from Australia was actually 3 on the list, so that he's been texting me and kind of teasing me about that, but it's kind of cool coming into college. I would never have thought I'd be the 4th best Aussie in college, so it's kind of cool.
And you're about to go into the Sun Belt Championship soon. Can you talk to me a little bit what you want to take from this year going into that?
I mean, there's bigger things in life than tennis, so it seems almost easy just getting on a tennis court and playing and competing with your best mates. So I think we're definitely underdogs, but it's more fun playing sport when you're underdog because there's no pressure on you to win. So you just go out, swing hard, and hopefully win.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for sitting down with us today. I really appreciate it. And good luck on the rest of your season.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
And that's all for this edition of Mountaineer Spotlight. I'm Candace Cooper.
That was Candace Cooper with Scott Webster, who was with the team who traveled over the weekend.
That's right. They were on the road against Davidson. It was a strong showing for the Mountaineers as they won 4-3. They also ended that 4-game losing streak. App secured the win by earning the doubles team point and 3 out of the 4 singles match points. Campbell Stone won his 6th singles match of the year and put up the Mountaineers 2-0. Senior Scott Webster won his singles match and now has tallied 15 wins on the year, which matches his freshman year campaign. Freshman and Scott's brother Ben Webster contributed another point for the Black and Gold with his singles match victory. His first point came from his doubles match win with partner Alex Pakovich. App was supposed to play Coastal Carolina this Sunday at home, but the game was canceled due to weather. The next stop for the Mountaineers will be at the Sun Belt Conference Tournament April the 18th through the 22nd in Georgia.
The women's tennis team traveled to ETSU to finish up regular season play on Saturday. Unfortunately, the Mountaineers fell 5-2 to the Buccaneers. ETSU claimed the doubles team point in 3 out of the 5 singles match points. App's 2 team points came with a single victories of Maria Jose Zacharias winning her 10th of the season and Sandra Anglisho with her 2nd win of the season. The Mountaineers will play again at the Sun Belt Tournament in Georgia later this week.
The men's track and field team competed in the Charlotte Invitational this weekend and came home with 4 first-place wins. On Saturday, sophomore Elliott Graves won the 110-meter hurdles and set a career-best time. Jalen Virgil, who is also a wide receiver for the football team, placed first in the 100-meter dash, and get this, this was his first race that he competed in since high school. Freshman Ben Sidnarl finished first in the 5,000-meter run and set a new personal record time. The Black and Gold also placed first in the 4 by 100-meter relay. The team will also go on the road this weekend to compete in the Duke Invitational.
The women's track and field team traveled to UNCC over the weekend to compete in the Charlotte Invitational, where several Mountaineers came home with new personal records. On Friday, the Black and Gold took the top 3 spots in a 3,000-meter steeplechase with Caitlin Butler finishing in first place in under 11 minutes. 3 Mountaineers tied for second place in the pole vault competition on Saturday. 2 of the second place winners were juniors Hannah Emery and Lainey Honeycutt, who both set new season highs. The 4x100-meter relay team finished in 3rd place, and freshman Samantha Kohler placed 3rd in the 5,000-meter run. The team will go on the road again this weekend to compete in the Duke Invitational.
All right, and now it's time for our A-Game Player of the Week, and this one goes to junior baseball player Colin Schmidt. In this season alone, Schmidt has recorded 57 strikeouts, and 12 of them came against this past Friday against Louisiana.
Now, his biggest accomplishment wearing the Black and Gold uniform was against Georgia Southern, where he struck out 13 batters. Now, coming all the way from New Bern, Schmidt picked that because he loves the campus.
Congrats to Colin this week's honor, and we look forward to watching you and the rest of the baseball team this week against NC Central and Western Carolina.
Want more App State coverage? Well, you're in luck. Check out the A-Game on Twitter and Facebook for constant updates on Mountaineer sports.
That is the best way for you to keep up with your favorite teams and players throughout the week. We will be back with you next week for more App State sports coverage.
He's Braxton Critcher, and I'm Ashley Smith, and we'll see you next week.